With the rise of global urbanization, more people are opting to relocate to bigger cities in search of better economic opportunities, access to cultural amenities, and a desire for a more vibrant and diverse lifestyle. Living expenses in most of the famous and big metro cities of Europe, like Paris, London, Milan, Amsterdam, Berlin, Vienna, and Barcelona, have risen exponentially. Sure, wages and the earning potential is equally high, but most of the white-collar professionals find themselves living paycheck to paycheck, without any margin for savings in these big cities. Meanwhile, the lesser-known metro cities, mainly from the southern and central part of Europe, are still much more affordable due to the lack of tourism, higher rate of vacant accommodation, and cheap overall cost for groceries and services. Hence, in this video, we have listed the most affordable big cities to live in Europe, each from a different country, ranked according to their median living monthly expenses. It is clear that career opportunities are far less in these cities, but then again, living expenses are cheaper, therefore monthly budget can stretch longer, especially for remote workers earning their income from elsewhere. So here are the 12 big yet affordable cities to live in Europe. Number 15. Marseille, France. For those who want the big city vibe but aren't willing to put up with the prices of Paris and Lyon, Marseille is their best bet as far as big cities in France are concerned. The city has a population of just shy of 1 million, making it the second largest in France, while its metropolitan area is home to around double that. Being a port city, it is perfect for international business, as well as enjoying the relaxed lifestyle of a coastal city. Regardless to say the sandy beaches and fairy blues of mystic raindrops are an attraction for many foreigners. Compared to Paris's living costs, the monthly spendings in Marseille is substantially feasible and relatively adjustable. The cost of renting an apartment in the city starts from €700, which roughly equate to $800, while prices for food, utilities, and services are 42% cheaper than the likes of Paris. Overall, a median budget of around $2,000 is sufficient enough to sustain a comfortable lifestyle in Marseille. Number 14. Ljubljana, Slovenia. Slovenia is an extremely beautiful country, and its capital city of Ljubljana is where it all comes together. Not as large as most of the other cities on this list, Ljubljana exudes more of a small-town feel than a large metro city. But then again, it is the largest city in Slovenia. Thus, it is the epicenter of all opportunities and the main powerhouse of the country's economy. Along with the great architecture, the city is also well maintained, with plenty of green spaces and modern facilities for leisure and sporting activities. Plus, the coast is only about an hour away from Ljubljana. One can head south to enjoy the olive groves, the breathtaking ocean views, and clean, clear water of the Adriatic, or head 45 minutes north of the city to experience the Lake District. Furthermore, its crime rate is one of the lowest in Europe, and according to the Safe Cities Safety Index, it is one of the top 20 safest cities in the world. With average monthly costs of €1,830, equating to $2,000, cities like Ljubljana offer a perfect blend of urban amenities and easy access to the Julian Alps and pristine lakes. Number 13. Vilnius, Lithuania. Out of the three Baltic capitals, Vilnius is the largest by population and landmass. Apart from its sheer size, the cost of living in Vilnius is comparatively lower than both Tallinn and Riga. The country of Lithuania itself is considered to have one of the most active startup scenes in the Baltic region, with more than 100 startup events each year. Due to this, Vilnius is becoming a popular destination for freelancers, startups, and digital nomads. Along with its modern facilities and high environmental quality, Vilnius has a rich historical background that remains an important part of the city's identity. Its historic centre is one of the largest and best preserved medieval neighbourhoods in Eastern Europe and is considered a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. When it comes to expenses, the price of rent and food are cheap in relation to others in Northern Europe. The only drawback is the cold and rainy weather. Besides that, it is a beautiful city where one can have a comfortable lifestyle in a safe and friendly environment. Number 12. Naples, Italy. The regional capital of Campania and the third largest city of Italy after Rome and Milan. Naples surrounded by hills on one side and the sea on the other. Its main hub is brimming with raw energy and unmistakable character that sets it apart from other big cities in Italy. Additionally, the city is great for those who want to immerse themselves in a profound cultural experience while enjoying the affordability of southern Italy. The median monthly spending typically ranges between $1,500 to $2,800 a month. This average cost depends upon the neighborhood one chooses to reside, as there are certain areas where most natives reside under a monthly budget of only $800, but almost no foreign nationals live in such areas. Furthermore, it is the ideal spot for exploring the rest of the Campania region, as locations like the Amalfi Coast, the Bay of Sorrento, and the islands of Capri, Ischia, and Procida are just 1 hour drive or 30 minutes ferry ride away from the main city hub. The major downside of living in Naples is its high unemployment rate, however. Remote workers, freelancers, and those earning their income from elsewhere will thrive in this city. Number 11. Zagreb, Croatia. With a metropolitan population of about 1.3 million, Zagreb is the most populous city in Croatia and is home to about 1/3 of the country's population. It does receive a decent amount of tourism, though mostly from nearby European countries, Austria, Germany, and Italy. But out of all the cities in Croatia, Zagreb is the least touristy. It has everything you expect of a European city: trams, leafy avenues, fountains, parks, unusual museums, cafe tables spilling onto cobblestones, a satisfying old town without the tourist hordes. The city itself is big enough to live a quality urban life, and yet small enough not to feel like you're lost in a metropolis. Most crowdsourced online databases states that the cost of living in Zagreb is between $1,500 to $1,750. This estimate covers everything from accommodation in a mid-sized apartment, along with overall groceries, utilities, and entertainment expenses. Although it isn't located along Croatia's breathtaking coastline, it still has plenty to offer, and in many ways, it serves up a more authentic experience of modern Croatian life. The locals are welcoming, and the international community is active, with most being students and digital nomads. Number 10. Porto, Portugal. World famous for its port wine, Porto is Portugal's second largest city, with its metro population exceeding 1.3 million. It is generally more affordable than the likes of Lisbon, with its median living costs being approximately 17% lower. For example, a one-bedroom apartment in Porto's city centre averages $950 compared to $1,450 in Lisbon. General expenses including groceries, utilities, transportation and dining out are also around 12 to 17% lower. This consequently means that Porto is the more affordable option when it comes to big city living in Portugal. According to most crowdsourced database, the average monthly spending in Porto is about $1,700. Besides the main city centre, the outskirt districts of the city are much more cheaper, with living expenses going as low as $1,200. Thanks to its efficient and affordable transportation system, operating an extensive network of buses, trams and trains, connecting main city centre to the rural parts. One can easily reside on the outskirts and still benefit from main city conveniences. At the same time, the city is leading the way in industries such as technology, hospitality, and finance, drawing students and expats from all over the world. Number 9. Seville, Spain. Sited in the south of Spain, Seville is the vibrant capital of the infamous Andalusia region, known for its stunning blend of history, culture, and year-round sunshine. Moving to this city grants one the chance to soak up everything Spain is known for: delicious tapas, lively festivals, and the hypnotic rhythms of flamenco. If you're outdoorsy, you will definitely cherish the Andalusian lifestyle here, as there are numerous beaches, only an hour or two drive away from the city, where you can cool off in the heat of summer months, as well as mountains and other scenic beauties for hiking. Although Seville is one of Spain's largest cities, and the largest in the Andalusia autonomous community, it retains a close-knit, friendly atmosphere that's easy to navigate. The lively plazas and cobbled streets of Seville are filled with bars serving tapas and flamenco venues, where one can relax and unwind. But it's not just about tradition here. The city has been undergoing modern developments, with an expanding metro system, new cultural centres, and a growing emphasis on sustainability. The cost of living in Seville is refreshingly low. With a budget of around $1,700, one can easily cover housing, utilities, and everyday groceries expenses. Number 8. Bratislava, Slovakia. Situated in the southwest of the country, Bratislava borders both Austria and Hungary, and as a result is the only city in the world that borders two independent nations. Its location in the very heart of Europe has made it an important trade route for all nearby EU countries. One can simply go on a day trip to nearby Vienna and Budapest by taking a bus or train from one of Bratislava's local stations. In addition, the city has a very low unemployment rate, and demand for skilled English-speaking expats is always high. However, the cost of living in Slovakia is rising quickly. While some expenses, such as rent in central areas, can be high, other day-to-day costs tend to be more budget-friendly, making it possible to maintain a comfortable lifestyle without excessive spending. Nevertheless, one can comfortably reside here under $1,500 to $1,700 per month, including rent and all amenities. Number 7. Budapest, Hungary. Acclaimed as the jewel of the Danube River, Budapest influences from both the east and the west, yet stays true to its own character. Its populace of 1.8 million is divided in its 23 districts, each with their own unique landscape and vibe. Almost 9% of its inhabitants are of international descent, and roughly 45% are under the age of 30. Due to this, the city is simultaneously hip and nostalgic, with a plethora of cultural events and outdoor activities. There are more than 100 bathhouses built on the city's famous hot springs, serving as perfect retreats for social and leisure activities. The cost of living in this city has increased dramatically due to high rates of inflation, but for the most part, it is still more affordable than most big European cities. This fact is reinforced by the increasing expat community, touting about its low costs of living, with the monthly expenses being around $1,650, which is well within the range of a budget-oriented individual. However, bear in mind, this figure is likely to increase if one chooses to reside in its upscale areas. Number 6. Belgrade, Serbia. The Serbian capital city of Belgrade, with its population of 1.6 million people, is an increasingly popular destination for remote workers and expats. The main reason for this is the ease of obtaining a long-term digital nomad visa and the Linnet tax rates, along with the favorable exchange rates with superior currencies, like the US dollars, euros, and pound. Although the economy is growing, there are still limited job opportunities, particularly in certain industries. This can make it difficult for less skillful expats to find work and support themselves. Anyhow, those earning their income from elsewhere live relatively well in this city. Additionally, the cost of living isn't that exorbitant, as most people barely spend more than $1,650 per month. Whether it's groceries, rent, or public transportation, costs are significantly reduced when compared to most similar-sized cities of Europe. Though a crowded city with lots of traffic, but it's incredibly walkable with safe and efficient public transportation system. To top it off, almost everyone in Serbia can speak and understand English, which makes integrating into the local society seamless. Number 5. Thessaloniki, Greece. The second largest city in Greece, with over 1 million inhabitants in its metropolitan area, Thessaloniki is located on the Thermaic Gulf, at the northwest corner of the Aegean Sea. Being home to many ancient buildings and sites, which date back to the 4th century, it portrays a good balance of modernity and history. The city is often treated as a gateway to many nearby coastal resort towns and the Greek islands, thanks to its frequent ferry links. In comparison to other similar-sized cities in this part of Europe, it is less attractive to live permanently. Nevertheless, if the idea of living in an affordable big city with access to multiple weekend vacation spots is of interest, Thessaloniki is worth a consideration. Other things in its favours are its low cost of living, as it's not too difficult to get by on under $1,400 per month. On the other contrary, Thessaloniki itself tends to be chillier in the evening, so it is not a preferred spot for those seeking warm and sunny weather year-round. Number 4. Sofia, Bulgaria. The capital city of Bulgaria has always remained a good bargain among most of the big European capitals, with a very dynamic city centre that is quite welcoming to foreign nomads. Prices of nearly everything are cheap, except for inbound flights from other major cities. The majority of expats moving to Bulgaria consider living in Sofia first, and it's safe to say that a single person can live comfortably in Sofia with a monthly budget of $1,000 to $1,300. Apart from being a budget-friendly location both for travelling and living, it features lots of natural landscapes, including green hills and mountains that are great for a variety of outdoor adventures. On the downside, it isn't a great place for expats looking for work, as the unemployment rate is high, and the quality of life is also not on par with most of the big cities in Europe. Number 3. Bucharest, Romania. A city surrounded by acres of outstanding natural beauty. From long windy roads to enchanting castles, Bucharest is Romania's cultural, administrative and economic capital. It is the 6th largest city in the European Union by population within city limits, after London, Berlin, Madrid, Rome and Paris. Even with this massive populous living expense remain nominal, a single individual can easily reside here under $1,200 a month. On the contrary, this city has some obvious cons, with the most common ones being high unemployment rate, lots of traffic congestion, and less developed medical infrastructure. So all in all, it might not be the perfect location for expats looking to expand their careers prospects or raise a family. Anyhow, it is still the largest academic, business and commercial spot in Romania, so there are a fair bit of opportunities for English-speaking expats and remote workers. Number 2. Tirana, Albania. Although not the most conventional destination for expats, Tirana is a rising star for budget-minded digital nomads. Thanks to its low cost of living, from delicious local eats to trendy cafes, to cheap accommodation and utilities, the capital city of Albania allows one to experience the local culture without breaking the bank. It is a relatively safe city, though petty crimes such as pickpocketing do occur. Yet those who have been to this city speak positively of the overall quality of life. Moreover, Tirana is just 40 minutes drive away from the coastline. The nearest famous resort city of Durrës is usually packed with residents of Tirana throughout the day in the summer months. Although costs have begun to rise, Tirana is comparably cheap, with low housing prices, affordable food, and cheap utilities. On the flip side, the biggest con as a foreigner would be healthcare system. Even though efforts have been made for improvement, the sector still remains poor and underfunded. But then again, more and more private institutions have popped up recently. Hence, expats are advised to get international insurance to cover the costs of private healthcare. Number 1. Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. A compact yet metro city, with a population of around 550,000 inhabitants, Sarajevo is one of the most underrated cities to live in Europe. The most remarkable aspects of Sarajevo is that it blends contemporary city conveniences with old town feel. Beyond its architectural beauty, Sarajevo offers a cultural tapestry that is truly captivating. The city's diverse population has contributed to a thriving arts and music scene, with festivals and performances that bring the streets to life. All in all, it is by far the most affordable big city in the entirety of Europe, with the median monthly expense rarely clocking over $950. However, this city is not for everyone. As the literacy rate is very low, English isn't prevalent, the infrastructure is obsolete, and the lingering effects of its 1990s conflict are still noticeable throughout the city.